It gets a little confusing, but like I said, it just takes a little bit of getting used to it. Hopefully this will help. So, like I said, I am only going to set up the problems for you guys, or so that you guys can check solving the equation. I'll let you guys do it by yourselves. So, first one, the larger of two numbers. So there's two numbers, a larger one and a smaller one. And it talks about the larger one is being referenced in terms of the smaller one. So that's why the smaller one is, we call it our x. The larger one is based on the smaller one, so the larger one is 5 plus x. Now that we have identified it, we can, set up our equation. So again, in order, the smaller one, plus, is plus. Twice means 2 times, and 2 times the larger one, which is 5 plus x, equals 100. You know what? I'll just solve it really quickly. Sorry. 10 plus 3x. This is going to be 90. X equals 30. Okay? So it's 30 and 35. Okay, so but my main focus is, if you have an equation, of course, correctly. Okay, that's my main thing. Next one's 34. One number is less than the other. Well, again, so if one is x, the other one is x minus 2. There's my two numbers. Now, following the order, 4 times the larger, and the larger one is x minus 2, so I put it in parentheses, is subtracted from is minus 5 times the smaller. Oops, my mistake. 4 times the larger is x, of course, is subtracted from 5 times the smaller, which is x minus 2. The result is 10. Now, I don't know if you were listening to what I was talking to when I was talking to Ryan. If you guys remember, subtracted from, those two words together, not subtracted, but subtracted from, means that we have to make a little switcheroo here. These two have to switch places. Okay? And I said I wouldn't do this, but I guess I am. So x minus 10 equals 10, and x equals 20. So one number is 20, and the other one is 18. Third, the larger, so again, there's a large number and a small one. And the large is referencing it, it's based on the smaller one. So the larger of two numbers is 20 more than the smaller one. Well, this is x, and this is going to be 20 plus x, whatever the smaller is, plus 20. Now, 4 times the larger, which is 20 plus x, is 70 more than 5 times the smaller. That's it. 80 plus 4x equals 70 plus 5x. If we subtract 4x from each side, we get x plus, let's keep this consistent. We get 70 plus x, right? Subtract 70 from each side, we got x equals 10. So one number is 10, the other number is 30. 36 is a little tricky. If 14 is added to the certain number, so we know that the sum, so they're saying that the sum of these two is multiplied by 2. The result is equal to 8 times the number, x, decreased by 14. That's my equation. Okay, so the tricky part is because I think I've seen a few of you adding 4 plus 14 plus x here, and then also plus 14 plus x times 2. So you're not doing that. It's just this. Okay, so distributive property. 8x minus 14. Let's get rid of the 2x, which gives me 6x minus 14 equals 28. 6x equals 42, right? And then x equals 7. So that's my answer. 37, the difference between two numbers is 24. So now I have two numbers. If one is x, The other one is x minus 24. That's the tricky part on this, right? So if one answer, I don't know. So if one number was 100, the other one would be 100 minus 24, which is 76. So here are my two numbers, 100 and 76. Is the difference between them 24? Yes. So the tricky part in this question was, how do I use this first sentence? Right? How do I use this first sentence? The difference between two numbers, 24, to set up this. So that was the tricky part. Find the numbers if their sum is 88. Oh, so that's easy. So now x plus x minus 24 equals 88. And that's so 2x minus 24 equals 88. Let's add 24 to both sides. And we get 2x equals 112. And divide both sides by 2. Oops. Divide both sides by 2. And x equals 56. So if one number is 56, so if x equals 56, the other one is going to be 56 minus 24, which is 32. So if one number is 32 and the other was 56, is the difference between them 24? Yes, it is. Okay. So again, the tricky part was this. Separate 144 into two groups, such one group will be 12 less than twice the others. So again, there's two groups. I remember this one. Hang on a second. Separate. How did I write this? 144. So again, this is the same thing as question 37. So if one, or just so 144, if we break them into two groups, let's call this, there's x people here, x number of people here. The other group is going to have 144 minus x, right? So if you had 144 people in the room and you said, let's break it up into two groups, right? So this certain number go to this room and the rest will go to the other room, right? So if x came this way, the other room is going to have 144 minus x. Okay, so that's the two numbers, right? We identified them. And then what are we at? So that's such that one group, whatever, one group, let's call that x, will be, it's going to be 12 less than twice the other. And it doesn't matter which one you chose. So one group, this group, equals 12 less than twice the other. So the only arrangement we have to make this is that less than, right? Because this is less than, we just have to switch. And there's your switch. And that's my equation. So I guess 288 minus 2x minus 12. X equals 288. Sorry, I can combine 288 and minus 12 into 276 minus 2x. We can do minus 2x on both sides, and we're going to get 3x equals 276. Divide both sides by 3, and x equals, I have no idea. 276 divided by 3 equals 92. So one group of people had 92. The other group of people has 52 people. Okay, so again, that's the tricky part, which is similar to questions 37. Okay. 39. Separate 45 into two parts. And again, here's 45. I want to separate into two parts. So if I tell 45 people, let's break it up into not two of the same, but let's say you guys go here. So x people went here. The other side will have 45 minus x, right? That's how many people will be on the other room or the other corner, whatever. Okay, so now that I have those two groups of people, group A, I don't know, call that group A and group B. So it says such that 5 times the smaller, and it doesn't matter who you call the smaller, whether it's x or 45 minus x, it doesn't matter which group is small, we don't know. So 5 times the smaller, and I'm just going to say this is the smaller group, 5 times x, and let's make this the smaller group, and let's call this the large group instead of a and b. 5 times the smaller group is equals, right? 6 is 6, less than is minus twice the greater, 2 times 45 minus x. And like the previous problem, the one switch we have to do is switch to 45 minus x minus 6, right? Because this was represented by the word less than. And now it's just solving. 5x equals 90 minus 2x minus 6. 5x equals 90 minus 6 is, I don't know, 84 minus 2x. So we're going to add 2x to both sides. We're going to get 7x equals 84, x equals 12. So the small group had 12 people, and the large group had 33 people. 45 minus 12. 40, the greater of two numbers. Okay, so there's two numbers, the greater one and obviously the smaller one. Okay, the greater of two numbers, one less than 3 times the smaller. Well, they're again talking about the greater number in terms of the smaller number. So the smaller number we're going to call x. The greater number is 1 less than 3 times the smaller. Again, because it's less than, let's just make this a little switch. It becomes 3x minus 1. So the greater number is 3x minus 1, and the smaller one is x. Okay, so now we can use these two, to set up the equation. 3 times the greater number, 3x minus 1, is 5 more than 8 times the smaller. There's your equation. 9x minus 3 equals 5 plus 8x. Subtract 8x from both sides, we get x minus 3 equals 5. And then plus 3 to both sides, x equals 8. So the small number is 8, and the large one is 3 times 8 minus 1, which is going to give us 23. (41) The larger of two numbers, one more than 3 times the smaller one. Okay, so again we have a large and a small one. And the small one seems to always be dx, right? Because the large one's being described in terms of x. So the large one is one more than, which is plus 3 times the small. There we go. We only switch it with less than, okay? More than, it's commutative, so it doesn't matter if you write 1 plus 3x or 3x plus 1. It's up to you. Now that we're ready, the difference between 8 times, so the difference is subtraction. We're subtracting 8 times the smaller one, so let's 8 times x, minus 2 times the large one, so 2 times 1 plus 3x is 10. 8x minus 2 minus 6x equals 10. 2x minus 2 equals 10. 2x equals 12. X equals 6. So the small number is 6. The large number is going to be 19. Because 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Let me just scroll a little bit one, so 3 more problems. The greater of two numbers, again, so the greater of two numbers means that there is two numbers. The greater of two numbers is 1 more than twice the smaller, and again, the smaller seems to be, right, so the greater one's being talked about in terms of the smaller one. So whatever the smaller one is, the greater one is going to be 1 more than 2 times the smaller one. So again, 3 times the greater number. Exceeds is another word for plus. 5 times the smaller one equals 10. Find the numbers. Sorry, not exceeds. Subtract. What am I doing? Exceeds is subtraction. Okay. So now we can solve it. 3 plus 2x minus 5x equals 10. What do we have here? Oh, sorry, this is 6x. Oops. 3 plus 6x. All right, so we can combine the x's. We get x plus 3 equals 10. Subtract 3 from both sides. X equals 7. So the first number is 7. The second number is going to be 15. Okay. I guess the trick one was the exceeds. I completely forgot. The second of 3 numbers. So there's this first number, second, and third number. The second of 3 numbers is 2 more than the first. The third number is twice the first. So everybody's talking in terms of the first. So the first one is x. The second of 3 numbers is 2 more than the first. So whatever the first one, 2 more. The third number is twice the first. There we go. Now, the sum of the first and the third, the sum of the first number plus the third, exceeds the second by 2. Find those numbers. So the sum of the first and the third exceeds the second. Okay, sorry, the second exceeds the second minus, this is the second, put it in parentheses because more than one term, by 2. The sum of the first and the second exceeds the sum of the first and the third number exceeds subtraction the second by 2. There's your, okay, so x plus 2x minus 2 minus x, right? We're going to remove the parentheses. Combine like terms, you get 3x, sorry. You're going to get, well, this x and this x crosses out. We get 2x minus 2 equals 2. Add both 2 to both sides. 2x equals 4. Divide by 2. X equals 2. The first number is 2. The second one is 4. We have 4. Those are the numbers. The second of 3 numbers, again, there's first, second, and third number. The second of 3 numbers is 1 less than the first. So again, the first is going to be our x. The second of the 3 numbers is 1 less than the first. Okay. 1 less than the first. If you write it literally, translate it literally, it's 1 minus x, but make sure, remember less than reverts this to x minus 1. The third number is twice the first. So the third number is 2 times x. All right, so here are numbers. Underline this, this, and this. Let's set up our equation. So the third number, which is 2x, is 5 less than twice 2 times the second. Okay, so the third number is 5 less than 2 times the second number. Okay, so adjustment, yes. 2x minus 1 is going to come on this side, and minus 5 goes, these two switch places. Okay, so now we got to do the distributive property. 2x minus 2 minus 5. Wait. Sorry, I'm doing the wrong problem. I'm doing 33. So, right, so let me just go back here, guys. My apologies. I set up the wrong. So, first of 3 numbers is 1 less than the second, than the first. That's okay. X minus 1. The third number is 5. I'm sorry. Let me start again. The second of 3 numbers is 1 less than the first. So the first one is x. The second one is 1 less than the first, translated, and that becomes x minus 1. The third number is 5 less than twice the second. The third number is 5 less than 2 times the second one. Okay, and that's going to again change to 2x minus 1 minus 5. These switch positions, this and this switch positions, just like these two switch positions. So there we go. Now I can use these three to set up my equation. If the third number, 2x minus 1, minus 5, that's my third number, this whole thing is my third number, exceeds the first number by 12 minus the first number by 12. What the heck? Oh, sorry. The third number exceeds the first number by 12. Exceed the first number by 12. There you go. Ugh. Find three numbers. So there's my equation. The first number, the third number exceeds minus the first number, which is x, equals 12. So there's my three numbers. So we get 2x minus 1 minus 5 minus x equals 12. 2x minus 2, by the way. So now we have x minus 7 equals 12, x equals 19, because I add 7 to both sides. So I just want to double check this question. So the second of three numbers is one less than the first. That's x minus 1. Good. The third number is 5 less than twice the second. 5 less than twice the second. We switch position. We get 2x minus 1 minus 5. So this whole thing is the third number. Okay? That's my third number, my second number, and my first number. Now, my linear equation comes from the sentence, the third number, which is here, third number, exceeds, the first exceeds is here, the first, which is x, and equals 12. Good. So, again, I'll write it. That's the equation. Minus equals 12. Okay, and x equals 19. Right, so hopefully that didn't cause too much problems. Okay, but there it is.